The silence before the storm, they called it a routine mission, just a final systems check on the edge of known space. Commander Alara Voss wasn't convinced. The research station, Argus 9, had been silent for 17 days. No pings, no data. Just an eerie emptiness, as if the void itself had swallowed it whole. When Alara's ship, the Valkyrie, emerged from hyperspace, they found the station intact, orbiting the pale blue gas giant Theta Crux. All systems appeared normal, lights on, docking bay pressurized, but no sign of the 43 crew members stationed aboard. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Alara gave the order to dock. As the umbilical tunnel extended toward the station, she couldn't shake the weight pressing against her chest. Something was wrong. The silence was too perfect. Lieutenant Kor, her comms officer, tried reaching. The station again. Static. No response. Just the same looped automated greeting on repeat. Welcome to Argus 9. Please identify. Alara tightened her grip on the console. We go in. No one splits up. Full gear. Her voice was calm, commanding, but inside she was screaming. She had seen derelicts before, ships abandoned from reactor breaches or pirate raids. But this was different. The station was pristine, untouched, and yet it felt dead. As the crew stepped through the airlock, the lights flickered. The corridor ahead was immaculate white walls, silver rails, a faint hum of power, but no footsteps, no voices. Just the sound of their own breathing. Echoes of the forgotten inside the command deck. Monitors flickered to life with proximity sensors, but none of the movements made sense. Blips danced across the screen with no clear origin. Life signs registered, then vanished. Kor recalibrated the system twice, convinced it was malfunctioning, but the numbers didn't lie. Something or someone was still aboard. Alara scanned the logs. The last recorded entry was 17 days ago. A science officer named Ryan Talos had written simply, "We opened something." No explanation. No coordinates. No attachments. The Valkyrie's medic, Dr. Senna, found a sealed lab on Deck C behind multiple security layers. It had been forcibly locked from the inside. Whatever had happened, the crew had tried to contain it. Senna's hands trembled as she reviewed environmental scans. There were chemical anomalies, unknown elements in the air, barely traceable but definitely alien, not synthetic. Not terrestrial. Elara made a snap decision. We're not here to salvage. We're here to survive. Pull every log, every recording. Then we're leaving. But the station had other plans. The lights dimmed, replaced by emergency red strobes. The air chilled. Then the sound, barely audible, began to echo through the hallways. A low guttural hum that vibrated in their bones. It wasn't mechanical. It was alive. The crew gathered in the command module as Captain Alara projected the signal's waveform onto the main screen. It pulsed like a heartbeat, steady, deliberate, almost alive. Dr. Kale leaned in, his brow furrowed. It's not a standard binary or analog pattern. This isn't just a distress beacon. It's something else. A sudden fluctuation rocked the vessel. Lights dimmed and a low-frequency hum vibrated through the ship's core. Navigator Lyra tapped furiously on her console. We're being pulled off course. There's a gravitational anomaly. But it's not on any of our maps. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Then it appeared. Out of the void, a colossal structure emerged, a megastructure that stretched across the stars like the bones of a long-dead god. Covered in luminous runes and tech far beyond human understanding, it seemed both ancient and impossibly advanced. The signal originated from within it. What is that? Whispered crewman Jace, his voice barely audible over the crackling intercom. Kale responded slowly, It's not just sending the signal. It's shaping it, modifying it in real time. Alara gave the order. We go in. As the Orion's wake approached the structure, space itself seemed to bend. Time lagged. Clocks slowed. Thoughts became foggy. And then came the whisper, not through the speakers, but in their minds. A voice, clear, calm. Welcome back. The moment the voice echoed in their minds, the crew froze. Not from fear, but something deeper, recognition. It wasn't just speaking to them. It knew them. Knew their names, their fears, their pasts. It spoke as though it had always been with them, waiting beneath their thoughts. Captain Alara steadied her breath. You all heard that, right? Heads nodded slowly. Dr. Kale's face had turned pale. It bypassed every neural defense. No comms, no interface, just directly into our minds. The ship drifted inside the megastructure now, swallowed by its vast inner chambers. Light here had a texture. It pulsed along the walls like blood through veins. Symbols rearranged themselves as the Orion's wake passed by, responding to their presence. The signal wasn't just a message, it was an invitation. In the medbay, sensors went haywire. Jace, who had been injured earlier, began muttering in his sleep. Lyra leaned over him and recoiled as he suddenly sat up, eyes glowing faintly blue. He looked straight at her. They remember, he whispered. They remember us from before. Before what? Kale, trying to keep a grip on logic, analyzed the data. This structure is reading us, learning. It's scanning our DNA, our neural patterns. But more than that, it's synchronizing. Alara asked the question no one wanted to voice. Are we still ourselves? The voice returned, softer this time. You came searching for a signal, but it was always searching for you. The voice returned, now clearer and more insistent, threading through the crew's thoughts like an ancient melody. We are the architects of the void, it proclaimed. Bound by a covenant older than the stars themselves. Alara's mind raced. Architects? Covenant? What does that mean for us? Dr. Senna analyzed more samples from the station's lab, uncovering traces of bioorganic tech intertwined with the alien elements in the air. This station was never just a research post. It was a gateway, a bridge. Kor's eyes widened. A bridge to what? The structure around them shifted subtly, walls rearranging, corridors extending beyond their original design, as if the station was alive and adapting. Alara realized they weren't intruders, they were expected. If this is a covenant, she said, maybe we were part of it long ago. Maybe that's why the signal found us. The crew faced a truth heavier than space itself. Some connections transcend time and memory. And now, they had to decide embrace the unknown, or be consumed by it. Memories surged through Alara's mind like a tidal wave, visions of starships long lost. Ancient wars fought in silence, and a forgotten alliance between humans and entities beyond comprehension. We were once the guardians of this covenant, she whispered, struggling to piece it all together. But something shattered it. Something made us forget. Jace's eyes flickered with the alien glow again, and he spoke the name, an ancient word that echoed through the void, Elither. Kale's voice trembled. Elitar ... A civilization, thought to be myth, a race that transcended physical form, existing as pure consciousness. Lyra's fingers danced over the console, decrypting data fragments that painted a grim picture. Elither had reached out across galaxies, seeking hosts to carry their legacy. And now, Alara said, we are those hosts. The Orion's wake shuddered as the megastructure pulsed, responding to their awakening. The voice whispered once more, your time has come. Embrace what was forgotten or be lost to the silence forever. The crew stood at a crossroads unlike any they had ever imagined. The voice of the Elither echoed in their minds, offering knowledge, power, and a return to a forgotten purpose. But at a cost, Alara wrestled with the decision. Accepting meant merging with an ancient consciousness, sacrificing their individuality for something greater, but refusing meant being left behind, lost in the void of oblivion. Dr. Senna cautioned, "We don't even fully understand what this merging entails. It could erase us." Lyra nodded grimly. "But if we refuse, this place might consume us or leave us stranded in this endless maze." As the station's walls shifted and shimmered around them, the signal intensified, pulsing like a heartbeat urging them forward. Alara looked at her crew, seeing fear, hope, and resolve reflected in their eyes. "We have to choose," she said quietly, "to become part of something beyond ourselves, or to fight for the fragments of who we are." The moment stretched, heavy with the weight of destiny. As the voice waited, one by one, the crew began to feel the change. Memories long buried resurfaced, flooding their minds with visions of distant stars, forgotten battles, and ancient knowledge. Alara's thoughts became sharper, her senses heightened. She could feel the pulse of the megastructure as if it were part of her own heartbeat. But with the awakening came a cost. Fragments of their individual selves began to fade, replaced by the collective consciousness of the Elither. Jace, still, glowing with that eerie blue light, became their guide, translating the whispers of the structure and revealing secrets hidden in the folds of time. Despite the loss of some autonomy, the crew understood they had been chosen for a purpose greater than any had imagined. Yet, a lingering question haunted Alara. Was this truly salvation or an eternal imprisonment? As the Orion's wake merged deeper into the megastructure, the boundary between human and Elither blurred. The final choice loomed: surrender fully, or fight to reclaim their identities. The decision weighed heavily on every soul aboard the Orions. "Wake!" The voices of the Elither beckoned, promising unity and eternal knowledge. But Alara saw the shadows lurking behind the light. She gathered the crew for one final moment. "We can't lose ourselves," she said firmly. "We must find a way to carry the Covenant's legacy without losing who we are." Using every scrap of knowledge from the station's archives, they devised a plan to harness the signal but contain it within their own minds. A symbiosis rather than surrender. As they initiated the sequence, the megastructure trembled. Light cascaded through the halls, the pulse quickening to a frenzied beat. Alara felt the overwhelming presence of the Elither, the weight of millennia pressing down. But as the signal stabilized, something unexpected happened. The station's grip loosened. The crew's mind stayed intact, changed, evolved but free. The Orion's wake disengaged from the station, drifting away into the dark. Alara stared into the void, the last signal fading behind them. Knowing this was only the beginning. The silence was no longer empty, it was full of possibilities.